Jessica Anderson, president of the Sentinel Action Fund, former associate director of the Office of Management and Budget in the first administration of the Trump White House, and Yemisi Egbewale, former Biden White House press office chief of staff. So I guess Democrats don't wish Tim Walz dead. They just sort of, or ill, they just wish him gone.
Look, Joe Biden said, you want a friend in Washington, get a dog. The sun only shines so much. Well, I'm going to attribute it to the one that I know a lot.
Okay.
Said it last, okay? Look, Governor Tim Walz, wow, what a journey. He was top of our ticket. He was great as the VP. He did what he needed to do. Look, he was great as the VP for Harris, for all that she wanted him for. She didn't want Shapiro. She wanted him. We let him be on the ticket. We let him run the convention. We loved his whole family matters thing and that he could relate to men on the other side. Sure. Okay, well, it was nice to have you. Let's have Amy Klobuchar
with
run.
friends like you,
I know.
What I heard there was failed governor, failed vice president, weird shtick. Like, there's so much there that he just never lived up to the bill. And I think the way he's leaving this, where he's saying, well, I'm not going to actually resign. I'm not going to take responsibility for the $9 billion worth of fraud, let alone a reckless path behind him as governor. I'm going to stay put. Oh, but by the way, I'm not running for re-election. It's like, you can't have it both ways. Have ownership and accountability for what you did. Move aside. Let there be new elections and new blood in the state.
So if we just zoom out, you think about this. You think about the three major Democratic players out of the 2024. Joe Biden, okay, Kamala Harris, and Tim Walz.
Yeah.
What do Democrats do?
You move forward. I mean, look, I think, honestly, the best situation here is that somebody like Amy Klobuchar, well-liked, high popularity in the state, comes in. She gets
salad enthusiast?
I mean, you know, full disclosure, used to work for her, so a little bit biased.
Look, no one's more happy about that than Chuck Schumer. So let's be honest. He's happy to get her out of the Senate.
Chuck Schumer doesn't have to worry about some back and forth on the Senate leadership debate. I mean, this is a win. And also, let's not forget, Amy Klobuchar was in a great position to be the vice presidential nominee the first time Biden came around, and it was given to Harris because of George Floyd and Minnesota and optics and blah, blah, blah. Well, look, if she's looking for 2028, she has a better chance of having that conversation after having been the governor of Minnesota than sitting over here in the Senate.
The whole reason this has exploded in Tim Walz's lap is because either he was complicit or he chose to look the other way of this massive and growing fraud issue. Now, Mississippi auditor warns welfare fraud is incredibly easy as a $77 million trial begins. Two Massachusetts store owners charged with $7 million in SNAP benefits. I believe they were Haitians. Maine's Medicare program bilked out of millions of dollars in Somali fraud, whistleblower claims. Big NewsNation investigation coming tomorrow. Reports of massive fraud in California as well. Yemisi, is there going to be a problem for Democrats in 2026 and 2028 of a level of compassion, I will use it generously, that allowed billions upon billions of dollars of taxpayer money to be stolen, and you compare that to, say, Bill Clinton, who wanted to reform welfare?
Look, Tim Walz let a story get out ahead of him. This had already been investigated. If he had come out and been a bit more stronger, and if somebody like an Ilhan Omar hadn't been so sympathetic to the very community she was a part of in trying to help guide this along, and they had taken full responsibility, I actually think he would have come out a little bit better in this. President Trump wants to go against Gavin Newsom and look at fraud in California. Okay, well, Gavin Newsom is more of a formidable foe than a Tim Walz. Trump wanted to do redistricting nationwide, and Gavin Newsom said, okay, I'm going to do executive authority, put it on the ballot. And he came out ahead on that. So I do think that there are going to be matchups in other states, but I also think, and this is no offense to Tim Walz, folks are going to be a little bit more strong.
I think a couple things in there. One, it's kind of ironic to me that the one Democrat that's rushing to Walz's side actually was Gavin Newsom. He came out with this flowery statement saying that this is a man of integrity. He did nothing wrong. But the second point I think is really interesting of
why Gavin Newsom would put his neck out. I don't.
Yeah, and who is he to talk about integrity when he doesn't even have his own state under control? So there's a lot there. But the Democrats in disarray problem of today, I actually think is how Walz is going out. Because what he should do, if he wanted to set Klobuchar up for success, he would absorb the mistakes. He would have.
He would take responsibility.
And he would give Klobuchar a clean slate to come in. Instead, he's leaving the mess on her lap, which actually shows that Walz, I think, is out of step with where the DNC is trying to go and clean up. And he's in it for himself. And that's clear by his lack of wanting to resign.
All politicians are in it for themselves, okay? That's the epic narcissist thing. But there's one name that we haven't mentioned, and I think it's amazing that he's skated through all this. This is the Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison. Okay,
right.
Who barely won.
Right, yeah. But my question being, at what point, Yemisi, is this sort of culture of fraud problem going to plague Democrats that Democrats, at least on the Hill so far, are unwilling to deal with?
I don't think it's going to have a big effect on the election. I mean, I was talking to some folks about... I was talking to folks about, look, this was well known. Well, then why didn't the Trump campaign come out with Oppo research when Walz was the pick? This wasn't even something that was flagged. I mean... It's
fascinating you say that, because I had friends of mine in Minnesota say, why isn't anyone talking about this massive fraud feeding our families on and on and on, the company that grew faster than NVIDIA.
Which already existed
and nobody,
when he was picked. I just don't, I think Trump vetting team probably looked at it and was like, this is not something that I think rises and will affect polling. So
it's all changed now.
Yeah, no, all of a sudden it happened. Ladies, we got to run. Thank you.